Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I'd like to talk to you about another underrated film, and Happy New Year, everybody. And I hope everybody, you know, has another good year. 2022, yesterday came and gone. So, I definitely need to make some changes for this year for sure. Only time's moving. I hope you guys had, some pretty good, interesting movies of last year that you guys seen. I might do a list of films. I might do that. We'll see. But here, I finally had the pleasure of watching to its entirety. And I was working at a movie theater at the time when the film was out, releasing. It was my first year, I think, at the theater. And this is actually Steven Spielberg's first animated film. And this is The Adventures of Tintin, starring Jamie Bell, Andy Serkis, and Daniel Craig, voice cast in here, which is based off the Adventures of Tintin novels, which I have not read, but I remember seeing them in school when I was little. When I was a pipsqueak, I remember seeing them in the library, and then I think some of my teachers had the books on display, and I never read them, but I was interested in this film. I never got around to watch it, but until this morning, the story centers around a reporter, Tintin, who embarks on a journey after discovering why these bad guys, are into trying to capture this certain display of a ship. So he embarks on a journey as to figure out why these men are after it, which turns out it's pieces that could link them to a sacred treasure hidden somewhere in the sea. And he ends up joining a captain, I think Haddock, I think that's the guy's name, to find this treasure, and also figuring out that it also deals with his ancestors, Captain Haddock's ancestors. And I'm gonna straight out and say it. I was some pleasantly amazed by this film, and I regret not checking it out at the theater. This film is kind of a breath of fresh air, and I think also an underrated gem. The movie came out 2011. Wow, 13 years, and the animation looks spectacular. It still holds up after 13 years. And to see this film, I gotta tell you, it's a breath of fresh air of seeing an adventure story. And it actually feels like, kind of similar to Indiana Jones, like a straight out action adventure film that you don't really normally get now these days. Where you have these characters that you are whimsical, smart, and intelligent. Well, one of them is, the other one kind of gets them in bad situations. And it has some pretty good humor, where the characters feel fully fleshed out. They feel very easy to relate to and easy to root for. And the adventure, I love how the camera is constantly moving with the characters, and its absurdity, where you feel the thrills of it. The camera goes along with the characters, and you absolutely feel the thrills of this movie. Actually, like that, Tintin refuses not to try to shoot anybody, so he has a gun and he uses it to kind of just evade people or shoot objects to kind of, to use it kind of as a scare tactic. He doesn't use it to shoot people. And the voice cast, Jamie Bell, Andy Serkis, whenever he is on screen as this character, Captain Haddock, he steals the show. I think he was even more. He's probably the funniest character and probably the most, I think, memorable, despite that character's personal issues that he is dealing with. The guy's a drunk, but to see how I would just tell you, this guy's hilarious. Daniel Craig voices the villain. I forgot the character's name, but he is also very good and intimidating in this. One of my favorite scenes in this film, and this is kind of close to like the finale, close to it. There's this one take action sequence, and it goes on for like a good it feels like 5 minutes. And it goes on, it's like this chasing where they're trying to retrieve back the these paper slips that can direct you to where the treasure is, or basically can tell you where the treasure is. And they have this one long camera, one take chasing. And it feels like Indiana Jones's, but the way that Steven Spielberg chooses to follow the action sequences with these characters was one of the best I have ever seen from his filmography. It's probably one of my favorite action films that he has ever done. And rarity, I think for anybody looking for a good like Steven Spielberg film, and most of his films are great, besides Indiana Jones, if you're looking for a good adventure film, I would highly recommend getting into this one because it's so thrilling. It's you like, he pulls you in right after the credits, and it has that just, I don't know, it feels like a fresh vibe of adventure and excitement and thrills, and which I don't think you normally get now these days. And again, I haven't read the books, but it feels like you are literally on an adventure from beginning to end, and you can't take your eyes off it. I couldn't take my eyes off of this film and that's rare. That's rare to see a film. And Peter Jackson also produced this. It's rare to see a film that is able to do that, and Steven Spielberg is able to do that masterfully. And I'm actually surprised. Since then, this film hasn't had a sequel. I think the budget was 135, and it barely made profit, I think. And I think that's the reason for development hell. I think it's been stuck. A sequel's been stuck in development hell ever since, because the film technically didn't fully make a good profit, I don't think. And I find that to be a crime. It looks like they did a lot of this with motion capture, just by the movement and how they did with the camera. It feels they done a lot of, I think, motion capture work. I don't think the film would have. I think that's how they were able to do it, motion capture work. If you're looking for a good movie, for a good action adventure for the kids, and it's the holiday season, I would highly recommend The Adventures of Tintin. I firmly believe you need to check it out. I think, to me, this might be one of my favorite Steven Spielberg films, besides Munich, Saving Private Ryan. It's probably going to be one of my top 5, I think. The Adventures of Tintin. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.